Max at bottom everyone, this is another video on how to assemble a clock switch. Let us start with the tools, materials, and equipment that we need in assembling a clock switch. The following are the materials, tools, and equipment that we need. Soldering iron, diagonal side cutter, long nose pliers, soldering stand, wet rags, solder or lead, clock switch kit, wires, and face mask. Open the plastic container of components. Keep the papers containing the guide for microphone connections and the components specification and guide and schematic diagram. Start organizing the components by grouping the types of components and considering the sizes and heights of components. Since resistors are small, start mounting it on the PCB by decoding its value first. Then make sure that each is placed on its respective location on the board. For R14, since this resistor has to be placed on the PCB in vertical position, have it mounted and soldered last on the PCB. Start soldering. Start soldering the resistor terminals, then cut the excess terminals using diagonal side cutter. Now connect R14 when all the resistors are soldered on the board and all its excess terminals are cut. Mount the trimmer resistor after soldering R14. Do the necessary adjustment on the terminals to have it fitted on the PCB. Then solder its terminals on the board. After the resistors are connected on the PCB, continue by mounting the diodes. Make sure that you have considered and followed the polarity of diodes. The said polarity is indicated on the PCB as well as the silver band on one side of the diode. After the diodes, mount the capacitors. Decode the ceramic capacitors and mount it on the PCB together with the electrolytic capacitors. Be sure to follow the correct polarity of electrolytic capacitors. The longer terminal is the positive terminal. Now connect the two LEDs. Again, you need to observe the polarity of LEDs. The longer terminal is positive, and on the board, the positive hole is indicated by the letter A, which means anode, or positive side of the diode. Now the transistors. Read the specification or part number of transistors on its body. Be sure to place the right transistors on the PCB. Follow the orientation marks on the board on how to place the transistors as well as its terminals. Then solder after mounting the components and cut the excess terminals. Now for the integrated circuits or IC. Be careful in handling the IC covered with aluminum foil. It means that this IC is sensitive to static electricity. Mount first the IC holder and solder it on the PCB. Make sure that no short circuit connection is made on its terminals. Do the necessary adjustments on the terminals to have it fitted or mounted on the PCB. Observe also the orientation mark on the IC holder and on the PCB. They must be on the same side, together with the IC when you mount it or attach it to its holder later. Inspect the connections after soldering. Make sure that there is no bridge connection on each terminal of the IC. Now, connect the relay switch. Do the necessary adjustments needed to fit it on the PCB. After mounting, solder the connections. Now attach the IC on its holder. We make sure that the holders are already cold when we attach the ICs. This is to protect the ICs. Make sure that all the IC pins are inserted on the IC holder. Now, for the microphone, connect it using wires. Follow the instruction on a small sheet of paper. Notice that negative terminal of microphone is connected to its aluminum body. On the PCB, you will notice negative hole is connected to negative and common connection on the PCB. Now connect the AC outlet terminals using wires. Since the output is AC, there is no need to observe polarity on wires and on the connections to the PCB. Now we're done. Since there is no transformer yet, we stop here and just continue when the transformer is already available. We will continue on layouting the circuit on the chassis together with its transformer. Bye everyone, and Pax at Bonne. God bless.